6 people in Monday's Amtrak train crash have hired a Chicago law firm with a track record of seeking personal injury damages against airline and rail companies, a first step toward a likely lawsuit. Given the series of similar Amtrak derailments over the past few years, the safety culture of Amtrak must be thoroughly reviewed and analyzed, Michael Zak, partner in Clifford Law Offices, said in a news release Thursday. Continuing systemic failures or failures in procedures or training protocols are not acceptable. The repeated failures must come to an end. The law firm is the first known to have been hired after 3 men were killed Monday south of Seattle when the train barreled into a 30 mph zone at 80 mph. The train was making the inaugural run along a fast, new 15-mile bypass near DuPont, Washington, on the Seattle-Portland route. The crash sent 72 people to hospitals, 10 in serious condition. The train carried 85 passengers and crew members. 5 cars and 2 trucks also were damaged when the train careened off the tracks onto Interstate 5 below. Zak, in an interview with the Oregonian/Oregon Live, declined to discuss his clients. He said his firm would focus initially on Amtrak safety procedures. The way we see this, Amtrak has been involved in a series of accidents similar to this one over the years, Zak said, pointing to the May 12, 2015, crash in Philadelphia in which a train derailed after traveling at more than 100 mph on a curved stretch of track with a 50 mph speed limit. 8 people were killed and more than 200 injured. Part of our litigation will be to look at the safety culture of Amtrak and thoroughly analyze it, he said. Is it continuing systemic failure? Or failure in procedures or training or protocols at Amtrak? Zak visited the crash site Wednesday, and the firm has hired investigators looking into whatever is publicly available at this point. Amtrak Cascades Train 501 was part of the Amtrak Cascades service, a 467-mile corridor between Eugene and Vancouver, British Columbia. Washington state is chiefly responsible for service in the state, and British Columbia, Oregon is chiefly responsible for the service in Oregon. For 2017 to 2019, the Oregon legislature approved a $31 million subsidy for the Amtrak Cascades service. Zak said it was too soon to say whether Oregon, or Washington, would have any liability in Monday's crash. We need to get to the root cause of the derailment before we can rush into determining who is at fault, he said. Amtrak President Richard Anderson told Washington Gov. J. Inslee on Wednesday the rail company will pay the costs associated with the derailment as well as the medical and other expenses of the victims. An Amtrak spokesperson issued a statement Thursday night that also said, to the extent other parties involved have responsibilities related to this incident based on the facts determined by the NTSB, Amtrak will work with those parties directly at the appropriate time. Regardless of how many lawsuits are ultimately filed against Amtrak, Congress has kept the total payout at $295 million. The cap, through the 1997 Amtrak Reform and Accountability Act, was originally $200 million. It was raised to $295 million in 2015.